Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Max Velocity weather forecast. And in today's forecast, we'll be going over the latest on the severe weather potential heading into next week. We'll also be discussing the possibility for a winter storm from the Central Plains all the way back through the Midwest. I'll give you the latest breakdown on both of those situations and more in this forecast. Let's first begin with what's happening across the United States today, beginning with the eastern half of the United States, where that low pressure system that brought the severe weather a couple of days ago is now shifted off the coast of the United States, bringing a little bit of rain for those maybe near Cape Cod, but otherwise it is pretty minimalistic. Otherwise, a high pressure system is now dominating most of the eastern half of the United States, with some higher winds as well back through the central, or really the Great Plains, all the way back into the Midwest right now. Back over on the West Coast is where that Pineapple Express does continue. We are beginning to still see a lot of rain, and not just that, we're also seeing some snow in the Sierra Nevada. This is going to continue to equivalent to more and more flooding, but luckily this will start to wind down over the next few days. There will be another shot for some showers and some storms heading into Monday in California. Meanwhile, there will be a low pressure system back over in the central United States. This will be a small scale low pressure system, but it will bring some rain. No severe weather is really expected with this one for right now. There might be even a little bit of snow with this one on the northern and western side of the trough. So for those back through Minnesota and Nebraska, maybe a little bit of snow for you, but otherwise very minimalistic overall. But going into Tuesday into Wednesday of next week is when we're watching the potential for a large scale trough to develop down in the southern plains. What this does mean is that we could see some severe weather, a mix of even some snow back through the central plains as well. And this will be the same trough that is expected to impact California going into late Sunday into Monday. So the Pineapple Express has caused a lot of the weather that we've seen across the rest of the United States over the last several days. Luckily though, the Pineapple Express is expected to start to taper down as we head into the later half of this week, which does end up meaning that these systems that we've been seeing with the warmer weather and all the severe weather should start to go down a little bit as we head into the later half of January as well as into February with more winter-like conditions, because honestly it has looked a lot more like spring for a lot of the southern tier of the United States over the last several days. But in terms of temperatures, we're going to be watching really a cold blast in the southeast United States for the next 24 hours. There is a falling iguanodon alert, by the way, down in Florida because of the fact that temperatures are going to get close or if not below freezing, which will lead to falling iguanas on trees. So just a little heads up there. But other than that, we're going to be talking about mostly above average temperatures across the rest of the United States. Florida will go back to normal by Monday. Eventually going to Tuesday into Wednesday, we're watching that large scale trough developing in the southern plains. This may bring a little bit of cooler weather for those down in the central and southern plains, maybe even into the Midwest. Eventually heading into next weekend, really overall at or above average temperatures will still be expected. We are watching still a possibility for a cold blast or maybe even an Arctic blast heading into the last week of this month, but we're kind of far out from that, but we'll keep you posted if anything changes there. Now, before we get to the winter storm that could occur next week, I do want to discuss really quick the ongoing temperatures in Florida, and going into tomorrow morning is going to be chilly. This is a burr alert here down in Florida. Temperatures in the upper 20s and low to mid 30s are expected. This is nowhere near normal for Florida this time of the year, which is issuing a falling iguana warning for those in Florida heading into tomorrow morning. There will be the potential for falling iguanas in trees, falling to the roads. Don't touch them, it's normal, but obviously this is something to watch for tomorrow if you're in the state of Florida, especially during the morning hours. Wind chills this afternoon, by the way, are in the mid to upper 30s and low 40s. It is cold in Florida today. Heading into tomorrow, again, wind chills are going to be cold. The entire state of Florida likely to be near, if not just below freezing for wind chills heading into the morning hours tomorrow. So again, very cold weather is ahead there for Florida. But we are also talking about the possibility for severe weather and a winter storm. We're first going to begin with the southern plains. Now, I had a detailed breakdown on severe weather in my last forecast, so make sure you go check that out first. But this is the ongoing potential for severe weather going into next week. Likely going to be sometime around Wednesday, if not into Thursday. There is a possibility for severe weather. The question is, where will it happen? And for right now, the European model is indicating this will be down in the southern plains and eventually moving into the lower Mississippi Valley heading into late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And this will likely produce all modes of severe weather, but the big question mark is where it'll happen. We are still a few days out from the event, so we'll keep you posted with any new details there. Also going into the Ohio Valley, this will be an area that will see some heavy rain. The possibility for some severe weather will exist as well, possibly from southern Illinois all the way back through the Dixie Valley. and eventually heading into Thursday, maybe a little bit of snow back up in the Midwest, which if we take a little bit of a closer look at the Midwest, first begin with Tuesday, and I'll show you what's going to happen on Thursday. There will be a small scale trough on Tuesday to watch out for. This may bring a little bit of rain, possibly even a couple of inches of snow to those over in Minnesota. Pretty small event though overall, nothing too significant is expected out of that. However, once we go into Thursday into Friday with that large scale trough that'll begin in the southern and central plains, there is a good chance there could be a lot of heavy snow. However, there is a ton of uncertainty where the heaviest of the snow will be and where this trough really goes. Now, this is a little graphic that I made comparing the European model, which is this here, and the GFS model, which is down here. This pink and purple back out to the west is where they are both in unison of where the heaviest of the snowfall will fall. So it does look pretty likely at this point that those in Kansas, southern Nebraska, and as well as into northern Oklahoma will at least see some heavy snow in that region. We very well could see several inches. Now, where the bulk of the snow goes is a massive question mark. The GFS model has it on a much more easterly track, and then the European model, which I agree with a bit more, is taking it on a more northeasterly track, which would bring the heaviest of the snowfall and most significant accumulation to those back over into the Midwest. So a couple of big uncertainty points here. Now, what is the difference at the end of the day? Well, this is the snowfall totals according to the European model as of now in terms of the possibilities that we could see. So upwards of half a foot to a foot of snow would not be out of the question if it took that northeasterly track, but the GFS model is on a whole nother scale basically of where it'll happen. The heaviest of the snow, again, you can see back down here on the bottom left of your screen, back over in Kansas, that's where it looks to be likely we'll see some snow accumulation there, but then it shows a much more easterly track through Missouri and eventually going into Ohio. So big question marks still remain with where this winter storm will go, but I will keep you updated with the latest on any new details that come our way. Thanks for watching. This forecast is brought to you by Platinum Contracting.